The Big Pyramid Scheme by Humongous. Quote, all plastic is oil. Most paints, all pesticides, are made from oil. Everything from toothpaste to toothbrushes is made from oil. There are 7 gallons of oil in every tire. There is nothing, anywhere, in any combination that will replace the edifice built by fossil fuels. Nothing. Unquote. Michael C. Rupert. What would happen if Earth suddenly ran out of oil? Do you even realize oil is a finite resource and will someday run dry? It's true. There's only so much of it in the ground. When it's gone, it's gone. What's more, we don't know how much oil remains in the planet. We don't have technology to determine such. Hence, we're left to guess. We can keep plunging our machinery into the soil, but we're not sure where or if rich reserves remain. We do know oil will someday run out. We'll always have a scant amount, but nowhere near enough to keep things running the way they do now. Oil is vital to our society. We're addicted to it. Without it, not only do cars stop running, but manufacture of vehicles becomes obsolete, since oil is required to build them. Tires are made of oil, and so is much of your auto's interior, from dashboard to stick shift and anything plastic. What about the rubber around your windows and belts, cables, caps, and tubes within your engine? Machines used to fabricate cars require oil. You can't construct these mechanized tools without petroleum to transmit the parts they're comprised of. And we're just talking cars here. What about planes, ships, and other modes of transportation? All rely on oil in order to become a reality. No more oil means no more plane flights. Anywhere. For anyone. But let's ponder beyond travel. Since your cell phone is largely comprised of plastic, your days of texts and tweets are numbered. Walk around your house and determine how many items within are composed of or use plastic in their manufacture. A preponderance of containers, receptacles your laundry soap comes in, and the plastic bags used to carry them from the grocery store. Air conditioning covers, bath mats, condoms, credit cards, drills, key parts, licenses, office supplies, pill bottles, sunglasses, tool handles, and so much more use plastic in their final products. But even items not comprised of plastic require oil to become a reality. Your house wasn't produced without prodigious petroleum. There's fuel to power saws, used to cut the trees down. And then, of course, there's oil to ship those trees on petroleum-burning trucks to the lumber yard. From there, that raw wood is cut into pieces customized for your home. This requires labor. Labor, no less, who drive to their quote-unquote jobs in vehicles powered by fossil fuel. That finished wood is shipped to a manufacturer who packages it using plastic. If oil ran out tomorrow, since we're unsure how much is left, society may collapse. A few more things we know. As long as there's money, people lie. Thus, those extracting oil will never admit they're running out. It's bad for business, and revolutions destroy corporations. As a result, we might be nearly dry, and not even aware of it. We also know it's far more expensive to drill for oil offshore than on land. Thus, when current top producers like Saudi Arabia begin mining petroleum in the ocean, you know they're running low. Offshore oil rigs used by this nation are cause for concern. If ample petroleum is left in Saudi Arabia, Why would those doing the extracting spend exceedingly more to drill for it at sea? Known as peak oil, it's the maximum amount of petroleum humans will extract from Earth. Peak oil represents at least half of this planet's supply. After that, everything is in decline. Due to how quickly we consume it, perhaps steady decline. The term was first introduced by geologist and geophysicist M. King Hubbert decades ago. Hubbert correctly projected United States peak oil, that is, the maximum amount of oil produced in the U.S., would be reached in the 1970s. Many believe we've already achieved peak oil globally. Others feel such is a long way off. Without a method of determining how much petroleum remains, how are we to know? Doesn't frenzied use of this resource without a suitable backup seem a recipe for disaster? Isn't determining how much oil is left so we can monitor our consumption of it more intelligent? If you reside in a freezing tundra, you don't chop down all the trees at once, burning them immediately for warmth. If you did, you'd die. First, you determine how dense the forest is and how deep it goes. From this, you conclude how many trees you can fell so you won't run out in the middle of winter. Quote, until mankind surrenders to the fact that it lives on a finite planet and it must have balance with that planet, with the planet's resources, with the animal life and all the other life, there can be no happiness for anything. Anything. It's all about getting balance back. The challenge being faced by the human race right now is either evolve or perish. Either grow up or die. Unquote. Michael C. Rupert. Hydroelectric semi-trucks are currently being produced. As such, will our fuel conundrum be mitigated when oil runs out? Even so, what of the countless other products we depend on every day due to petroleum? How will those be replaced? Peak oil or not, this resource will run dry. Now that we're dependent on it, how do we replace it? What if technology we're reliant upon today isn't available tomorrow? When oil runs out, will only the monetarily rich be able to afford vehicles and other items currently at our disposal? It's not solely a matter of running out of oil, it's how detrimental our consumption of Earth's resources has become. Due to fracking, folks in the Midwest are able to ignite water that's emitting from their home faucets. This is water people drink. Gulping gallons of methane cannot be good. And what of the hundreds of earthquakes suddenly occurring in Oklahoma, where fracking is immense business? Damaging the planet in blind pursuit of cash is retarded. You're willfully ruining the one and only spaceship you travel on in order to collect a bunch of useless strips of paper. Would you drill holes in the cruise ship you're at sea in so you can fill your bank account with cash? If so, you're sick, mentally deranged. Quote, it's like Chief Seattle said, not until you have killed the last fish and cut down the last tree and poisoned the last river will you discover that you cannot eat money. Unquote. Michael C. Rupert. Blinded by greed, you don't care what you're doing to this planet, the only home you have in this cosmos. Nor do you care what you're doing to humanity, which includes yourself. That's insane, and even the most articulate of tongues cannot mount an argument to refute such. Quote, all of the leaders of the industrialized world who are talking about growth and who are serving the IMF, the World Bank, and the US dollar hegemony, an infinite growth monetary paradigm, which is a pyramid scheme, have absolutely no concern, a complete psychotic disconnect for our relationship with the planet. Unquote. Michael C. Rupert. Lunatics you elect as quote-unquote leaders are psychopathic. Moreover, you're emulating them. That means you're striving to be psychopathic. You'll never understand what their endgame is because they're insane. They solely want to quote-unquote win, even if doing so means killing themselves in the process. There's no way to comprehend madness because it's madness. There's no rhyme nor reason to it. Take a look at what you've become. This is the creepiest of conclusions. It doesn't have to be this way. You have the power. You are the power and can eliminate this evil. Quote, an ear of corn has value. A barrel of oil has value. The people who have run the monetary paradigm, the economic paradigm, since money was first invented, have wanted to mystify it and to make everybody believe that only some expert could understand the mumbo-jumbo of the priesthood of money. Unquote. Michael C. Rupert. Again, money is only strips of paper. IOUs. There's nothing complex about it. Attempting to make yourself appear wise because you quote-unquote understand money only makes you look like a douchebag to those plugged into reality. Quote, 3 things only anybody needs to know about the way money works around the world today. 1. Fiat currency. What is money? If I were to take a bill out of my wallet, and I reach in my wallet and I pull out this bill, it's $20. Wow, okay. Can I eat it? Can I roll it up and chew it? Do I get calories and vitamins? No, I don't. Can I crumple it up and throw it in my gas tank? Is the car going to go anywhere? No, it's going to clog the fuel injectors maybe. This is only a symbol. This doesn't mean anything. It's fiat. It's created out of thin air because somebody turned on a printing press. That's all it is. Then we have something called fractional reserve banking. If you were to bring me a $10 deposit, I could make $90 worth of loans based on just having that $10 in my drawer, because it's all calculated on the premise that not everybody's going to come in and want their cash all at once. That's called a run on the bank. Pretty much everybody is understanding how compound interest works. The higher the interest rate on your credit card, for those people who had 20-25% cards, that means they're creating that much more money if they don't pay cash every month. What I have just described is a pyramid scheme. We live in an infinite growth paradigm, which requires growth forever. It's not that Bernie Madoff was a pyramid scheme or Alan Stanford was a pyramid scheme. The whole economy is a pyramid scheme. The whole global economy cannot be sustained. It requires infinite growth, but infinite growth collides with finite energy. Unquote. Michael C. Rupert. I hate producing these audio chapters. If we existed in a rational paradigm, I wouldn't have to. Even more painful is the fact I have no support. The information I'm disseminating, an amalgamation of facts, is so hurtful to consider, even my friends refuse to peruse. I've been writing for more than a quarter of a century, and my material goes largely unread. That's agonizing. Such stated, I'm superlative at my craft and aware I'm distributing truth. Still, why do I torture myself? Quote, if there was a German in 1932-33 who had the foresight to look ahead and to see what the inevitable end result of the Third Reich would be, if there was somebody who had seen that coming, do you honestly think that they could, in good conscience, turn around and walk away from it and pretend it wasn't there? We are all collectively as a species responsible for what may be the greatest preventable holocaust in the history of planet Earth: our own suicide. How do you walk away from that? How do you sleep at night? Who is anybody? Who are you to tell me it would have been easier to walk away? Because to walk away would have meant to compromise. To walk away would have meant selling out. Unquote. Michael C. Rupert.